You clearly don't know who you're talking to, so let me clue you in. I am not in danger, Skylar. I am the danger. A guy opens his door and gets shot, and you think that of me? No. I am the one who knocks.
We are back with our draft reviews. The ones who knock. That's a Breaking Bad reference for those that don't understand the name.
Yes, it is. I am the one who knocks.
Exactly.
Is the reference.
Okay, so this is a very interesting team.
The kids are watching that today.
Mocas,
A few years ago, Sandy.
Mocas traded down out of the first round. His first pick of the draft was Gabe, but you won't find Gabe on his team anymore because he traded him away for whatever reason, and now he has John. So the Mocas and John Eleazar reunion is back.
Yes.
But he traded away that first round pick and he loaded up in the mid rounds, upper mid rounds, and therefore he got a very balanced team. But I want to talk about some of the decisions that he made. He has Ike Mavora at first base. Ike Mavora was World Series MVP.
Yes.
He played great last year. He's friendly with Mocas. He was helping him orchestrate all these moves behind the scenes. I guess he felt confident he'd end up being on his team. Okay. Sandy, you loved the Tutu Matute Greenstein pick for this team. You thought it was a smart pick when they made it. I remember your reaction at the draft.
I like Tutu Greenstein here. Mavora also coming off an up year, and as we said, on draft day, looked like a little more confident. Walked into that draft room a little more
swagger, as they say these days.
Yeah. He had a swag about him, and it was just nice to see him like that. I was very happy for him last year.
Yeah, me too. But with all the picks that Mocas had, he made some interesting choices. Like, he didn't go with a true center fielder at any point. He went with Shimmy. I know Shimmy has played center, but Shimmy played left last year in our league. And in the beginning of the year, he looked very shaky there. He ended up improving, I think, on Passover when he started hitting. It translated back in the field. So with all the picks that he had, his decision was to go with Shimmy in center field. And then with all the picks that he had, he also made the decision to go Ralph Hannon on the mound. I thought that was extremely interesting.
I did too. I wasn't expecting it either.
Me neither.
I know you have the dual aspect to Ralph. He's he's a bopper as well as a pitcher. Always successful. And the question is, can he take that next step? And that's what Mocas is banking on. He took a pitcher last year that we could have said the same thing about, and today he has a ring.
But last year he took the pitcher late. He took Leo Casson last year.
He was the second.
But he got a hitter here.
He got a hitter here. But does he need a hitter here?
Listen, I think it's I agree with you. I think it's a curious pick. Until he proves that he's gonna take that next. We know he's a great pitcher, and we know he can at times he can dominate a regular season. We've seen it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's been on teams that were the 1 seed that got the bye. I've seen it. So we know that. Will he take that next step? Mocas thinks he can.
What do you think of the pick?
Specifically the Ralph Hannon pick, I loved it.
Okay.
Actually, I thought if he was a first baseman, he would only go a little bit further down in the draft. So I think you got for two for the price of one at a great spot in the draft. So yes, I did hear people say, you know what, but then you're committing to it. You know, you're committing. This is your plan now. And speaking to Ike Mavora after the draft, he was explaining to me how the Walkers won with a packed lineup. They didn't win with one bopper that can do it all. So they said, what is the formula to beat Navy in the World Series? They jumped there. And they said the formula is no easy outs, because we know Navy likes to get the first few guys, deal with the first few guys, and then mow down the rest of the lineup. So Mocas is putting himself back in October baseball and saying, what do I have to do to win games in the postseason? And he said, I have to trade back. I have to get a full, complete team. So will that work? I have no idea. But that's what he's going for.
I agree with you. I happen to think his offense, though, last year was better than this
Really?
team. Yeah,
Interesting.
I do. I think he had some veterans like.
Well, first
Hank,
of all, he had Joe Greenberg
he had
last
Greenberg,
year.
Hank. There were times where he wasn't making out Hank.
Yep.
He had Eddie Risty. I don't know. There's something about the team last year. Maybe because they won and they all performed.
Exactly. I mean, if you look at where
But-
those guys were drafted the year before, you would say the same thing we're saying now.
Well, you don't think that? Do you think this is a better offense?
I love the offense on this team because they made a couple of trades. They got Avi.
Yeah,
maybe Avi plays right field this year, but Kushner has a great glove in right.
Yeah.
Maybe Avi finds some time on the infield, but I don't see who he's playing over. So I think he's DHing, believe it or not.
Yeah, I think Mocas is putting a lot of trust in Kushner at right. We know he's a great right fielder.
Yeah.
We know he's a great right fielder, but typically the right fielder position is a platoon position, right? And I think by trading away Albert Sitt, who is a pretty professional right fielder, he's saying, listen, I'm fine with Kushner handling the bulk of the work. Yes, maybe Avi will take some time out there, but for the most part, he's saying, I'm fine with this outfit of Marty, Shimmy, and Kushner. And I think he traded away a serious insurance policy in Albert Sitt.
Okay, well, I agree with you. I think Kushner, he made some spectacular plays last year. I'm not worried about him defensively and right. I'm more worried about Avi not being thrilled because I don't see where he's getting in.
He seems to be slated for a DH role.
I think so.
My
And
old role.
your old
Leave
role.
your glove home.
But you were happy with that role.
Well, that was my role.
Okay, so let's look at the lineup, though. You have John at the top of the lineup somewhere in the first two spots, I assume. You have two. This guy gets so underrated. Greenstein is extremely underrated. The guy bats for a high average for a long time. It's not a one and done thing anymore with Ralph Matute. The guy bats for average every single year.
Right.
I love what you were saying about what Mavora said, because look at these tough outs. Marty Anthony, tough out. Shimmy Cohen, tough out. Mavora, Nussi Yakubovich. This guy takes pitches. He has a good eye. It's a tough out. Mo Cass, when you need a big hit.
Big hitter.
You
Still,
know?
the best moment was that home run.
Oh my God, it was really a trip
rounding,
over.
yeah,
and
him coming home.
he
that was
pounded
unbelievable.
his chest and
That
the
was
whole
unbelievable.
thing. Not one of the best moments. I'm so lucky that we got it on film. But bottom line is, I think their lineup is very, very strong. One of the best in the league. I think their D. You have Nussi, John. I think Gabe was a little bit better defensively than John, to be honest. But how much of a difference, I'm not sure. I sort of like their infield defense. I question their outfield defense a little bit. They have speed, but I don't know how tested they are over the course of a full year in those positions. I'm not sure. My biggest question has to be Ralph Hannon on the mound. He's talented, so hard to hit against him, but for some reason, he hasn't won.
Right.
Why?
It's unexplainable. I mean, like you said, there have been seasons where, I just point back to the year, I think he played with Sammy Towell. They were the Rockies, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
And one seed, dominant, got to the postseason, lost, had to buy and then lost.
Wow.
I don't know. But all that can change. Changes in 1 second.
Yeah,
All of a
it
sudden,
changes when you win.
All of a sudden you win, and now there's no questions anymore. But until you do, there's always going to be that question. I guess there is a similarity to this team where, as last year's, as when you looked at the White Walkers, there was nothing about it that told you this is going to be the team that's there in the end.
Mm-hmm.
And they really didn't do anything in the regular season that was so overwhelming. They sort of hung around. They were very mediocre, I believe. Got into the playoffs and got hot. And so, can I see a team like this doing that? Yes. You have to come together and you have to, it has to happen for you at the right time. So I think he'll be there. I think they'll be in the mix, but there are some questions on this team.
Let's talk mental aspect of this team now, because I think Mo Cass has his hands full. I think he has his hands full
Okay.
here. First of all, he already had to deal with a shortstop that sort of said he didn't want to be there. He traded him. He got back John. John knows that Mo Cass didn't draft him.
Yeah, it's tough.
So he's got to deal with that. John's not the easiest guy to start with. Okay. He's got Ruby Shahabar, who feels that he should be a full-time player defensively, offensively, 3 out of 4, 2 out of 4. He's drawing up things on a blackboard and making formulas.
He wants to play, loves to play, and he makes his case to play. Absolutely. And he's gonna he's going to be an earful for Mo Cass.
And he should make his case. He should want to play.
Yeah.
But Mo Cass has his hands full. And then he's got Avi, who I think is going to want to field, and I don't know where Mo Cass is finding the time for Avi to field. And then he's got Ralph Hannon on the mound, who has as good stuff as any pitcher in this league, and somehow can't get over the hump during the big game. I don't know why. I think if things gel together, it could be a phenomenal team. It could be a repeat of the Light Walkers. But I don't know if they're going to gel together, to tell you the truth. I'm not feeling the magic this year. I think the two Greenbergs, you're missing Raw Dog as the guy that could rally them together and get them together. I think it's huge. And then you're missing the stud, Joe Greenberg, the first offensive player taken this year.
Joe was with John last year.
Yeah.
He was, so I agree that I think you're right. I think that they have the tools, that could come together. But I am worried about this team a little bit myself. I agree with you.
I think we're all being a little bit down on this team, and I think that is the fair analysis for a team that abandoned the initial stars of the league. He traded down, so it's not going to look, it's not going to look so pretty, But you know what? If they could gel together, like you said, they may not be able to, but if they can gel together, they are going to all be tough outs, and if they're tough outs, they're going to win gritty, tough games.
But
there's question marks.
I do think Norman's point of, look, draft night, we have the video of John, ready to put on his 1-2 knock hat, about to get up, like that movie, I don't know, Jerry Maguire, whatever, I don't want to Kush or whatever, these guys, or the other one, Draft Day. Ready to do it, and it didn't happen. His face was in total shock. A lot of emotion, gets drafted to another team, getting used to the other team, gets traded back to this team, to the guy that didn't pick him.
Well,
it's not easy. And now these two got to look at each other. And they're the two main guys.
Also, I think when you have Joe Greenberg in your lineup, it makes everybody else better, including the people right before and right after him, Joseph Greenberg, because, John is an unbelievable batter, unbelievable hitter. But when Joseph Greenberg is right there, it sort of helps John's case. And it helps everybody.
Right.
It makes the pitcher, when he's up to number 10 and 9 in the lineup, he's thinking Joseph Greenberg is coming. That was the big bopper on the team last year. Mavora is right. He had all those guys, all the way down to Benster, all the way down. They were hard outs.
He did have the stud.
He had the stud also. This year, they don't really have the stud. So it's going to be interesting to see. And also, sorry, I'm talking the majority. I don't know why I'm talking so much with this team, but I like that they traded down, even though I think they're minimizing the impact of losing the stud. But then when they had all those picks, I didn't love every direction they went with.
I agree.
Starting with why go with the question mark when you didn't have to?
I agree.
Why go questions when you had all those picks?
Right. Mo Cass could have, Leo went so late. He could have waited and said, if I'm going to go with my blueprint of last year, let me stick to my main part of my blueprint last year, my pitcher. And he didn't do that. So you're right. In a sense, he wants to go back to the niceties he had of last year, except he may not be able to regain that so quickly.
All that being said, he could end up looking like a genius at the end of the year, but I think this team is going to be challenged.
Listen, he was captain of the year last year, so we just gave him
He's
5 or 6
great.
challenges. He can handle it.
He's great on a team. He's great for a team. He's a great, positive reinforcement there. He's a rah-rah guy. He's great. I think he's got his hands full as well, and I think they're gonna have to really persevere to be there in the end.
Okay, well, we'll see what happens. My prediction is they have a very strong regular season. I'm not too sure about the postseason.
I don't know how strong the regular season is going to be, but
I feel like offense prevails a lot more in the regular season, and I think this team is sound and stout offensively.
fair enough.